Welcome to your session on essay support. When it comes to supporting your essay, you really want to follow some general rules in regards to the topic. So this is closely related to what you plan. You also want to decide on what the supports will be. In general, let's share my screen. These are the areas upon which you would want to offer a type of support. The most basic one would be reasons. Okay, when you think of reasons when you're supporting something else, this would be what Okay, so reasons are what is contributing to the issue. An example of a reason would be the refusal of the baby boom generation to retire is contributing to the current lack of available jobs. So we know the issue is available jobs. And what does someone feel the reason or logic behind why that's happening? It's the baby boomer generation refusing to retire. So those are the connections upon reasoning that are being used to support the issue. The next type of support, you can include facts. Now, being that we're talking about an essay, a timed essay, you may not have facts right offhand, but if you can think of some that truly relate to your topic, this will definitely be helpful. Facts are something that can be proven, correct, or incorrect. Okay, so many people tend to think that they're always right. A fact is always true, but that actually, in fact, is not the case. You want to be able to put something that is supporting your issue in the text or in your essay that shows it can be looked up. Okay, so one example would be many families now rely on older relatives to support them financially. This is something we could research. I'm sure there are lots of studies about who pays for what in what families. And if that tends to be older relatives supporting their younger offspring or children or grandchildren, then we now can prove if that statement is correct. It supports the idea of why boomers are maybe not leaving the workforce. Okay. Our next type of support that we can plan for when we are writing is statistics. Okay. Now, this one, most of us are pretty clear on it. It has some sort of a numerical values, okay, that are involved. Let's type. Here we go. Numerical values involved making Now, what's interesting about including statistics, when the human brain is a very complex thing, but when it reads a number or hears a number, it tends to accept it as more of a true statement, and therefore making the writing feel more sustainable or believable. So if there are statistics that you know offhand that you can include that relate to the issue you are given during the essay, that would be an opportune time to plan for them, which within your plan, and then use them when it's time to write. An example of that is here. Nearly 10% of adults are currently employed in the United States. Okay. Citations would need to be involved here, and that's when you're doing a bigger research paper. Remember, this type of writing, essay writing for your test, that's a test writing situation, not a regular writing situation. So know the difference so that you are prepared for what you're going into. Let's get a little more space here. I will include this in your essay course. you will see this document again. Now, another form of support is quotations. Now, quotations are used to show who is speaking. Okay. You could say talking, but speaking is a more formal wording, and we are talking about essay writing. They are used to cite from someone else. Maybe you heard about it before from someone else, or you read about it from somewhere else. That's a type of quotation which requires citation so that you're not stealing someone else's words or a copyright sort of issue. The example I have here, we will not allow this situation to continue, stated Senator Johns. So someone heard Senator Johns say that. Now they're repeating what he said, and they're putting it in quotes so that you know that this was Senator Johns' statement. All right. Now, the next item that could be used as support are examples. Now, this one gets kind of complicated. Let me get my notes here. These are models, diagrams, which I would not suggest in a timed essay test taking situation, or an anecdote. They are all there to help the reader better understand a potentially new concept. So say you're introducing something that is not very well known, or you have an idea that loosely relates to the topic you've been given as your essay topic, then an anecdote may very well be needed, and that's a type of example. Here is the one that I have provided for you. Example, last year, Bill was asked to retire at the age of 55. So this is an anecdote for explaining the age upon which a boomer, based on our previous example, would be asked to retire. Okay, so this is an example to show where that age range starts to happen. Our next type of support is a personal observation. Now, these seem self-explanatory, but I'll attempt to explain it here as well. These are things one has seen or witnessed. I could even say observed, but I was trying to use a different word. Firsthand. Okay. I like to use the example that if you have ever experienced something like a hurricane, and being that I live in Florida, then I have firsthand knowledge, firsthand experience on my experience on those days. So that's a personal observation. I could be asked lots of questions about that. Someone else might be able to tell me better about a snowstorm, because that's something I am not familiar with. Having personal observations within your writing makes them stronger and more relatable. Here is an example. I have known other workers at my current workplace who have been less directly moved out of their jobs through changes in job duties and other tactics that are directed at making them want to retire, or at least leave their current position. This is someone's personal observation of what they're seeing happening with the baby boomer generation and the workplace. They're just explaining what they've seen and what they've heard and what they have observed. This is a great way to elaborate when you are writing your essay. If you can have that personal observation experience, it gets you more on the page. Our very last one, which is, I would say, highly unlikely, but I wanted to still include it here in your video for the essay support section, are interviews. When there is an interview, you are essentially asking someone questions about their personal observations. So taking some first, excuse me, it should be one word. Let's fix that. Okay. All right. So with an interview, you essentially are asking that person about their firsthand experience. This is very common in like a history documentary or something of that nature, or with scientists, people who go out and do the work and then others want to ask them questions about what have you experienced? And then maybe they do a report. Again, we're talking about essay writing for a test. So this one is highly unlikely, but I would like for you as a writer to still know what the options are for including support so that you have them ready and so that you have them ready to go when it's time for you to write. So here they are all together. You could do reasons, facts, statistics, quotations, examples, personal observations, and or interviews. That's it for now. I'll talk to you soon.